What's up, nerds? Welcome back. FPL Fantasy coming at you on your screens right now. Guess what we got today? You won't guess. Keep guessing. Keep trying. No, none of those ideas either. It is actually 5 FPL drafts with varying amounts of premiums in them. I'll give you a little hint. There's not one with 5 premiums. That is completely impossible. We tried. It's not going to work. So before we get into showing you the drafts that we threw together, my man Doc is here with me, my co-host. Doc, what's going on? Tell the people about it.
What's up, guys? This is Doctor, and welcome to another episode. We have kind of an innovative episode. We started playing with our drafts. We started playing, kind of tinkering and seeing how many premiums we can fit in. And we brought you 5 drafts today, starting with 0 premiums. Of course, that's Joe's specialty. And then we will end it with 4 premiums. And believe it or not, it's a good draft. I'm very tempted. I don't think I'll go for 4 premiums, but it's a very interesting draft. So stay tuned and enjoy the episode with us.
All right, everybody, before we get into it, just remember, like, subscribe, comment. We make sure to reach out to everybody that comments with us and interacts with us. Let's get into it, everybody. First off, we have our good old 0 premium draft. Now, this was the one that I kind of took the reins on and went through. As you can see, it's something that was done as we record today, Thursday, on Thursday, because Sterling has a good old Chelsea jersey on him now, finally. If we look at the draft, basically it's kind of the cookie cutter, big in the back style draft. That's where a lot of the money went to. I tend to have a preference of going with Chilwell over James. I think they're kind of interchangeable unless James has the same season he did last season where he scores 34 points in a game and then decides to take 10 weeks off. That's what we're looking at for the back. I did decide to put in Lloris, and me and Doc actually mentioned this and talked about it right before we started recording. So you'll look at this draft and you go, what the heck's going on here? They have double Spurs defense. The issue is, the way that I'm looking at this draft is Lloris is the defender. Doherty, he is going to be much more of the attacker. He flourished under Conte when he was healthy towards the end of the year. He's going to be doing the same thing as long as he stays and he doesn't leave in this season, and I think that's something to definitely expect to happen. Now, I went over Perisic because you're saving 0.5 million. He's probably for the most part a nailed on starter, but there are some questions about playtime. It seems like he'll probably get you 60 minutes plus every single game, but I'm going for the tried, true, and tested player in the Premier League. That's why I have Doherty in there. Then we have a couple 0.8 millions and Sterling sitting in the midfield. They're all your standard guys that you want if you can fit 8 millions in. Saka, Foden, Diaz. Those guys, they're good to go. Just get them into your team. One of the nice things about this is you can have 3, where in other drafts you're picking between 2 or maybe even 1. But there is that flexibility across that price point where you can kind of swap to whoever is feeling good, whoever has those really nice fixtures coming up. And then going all the way to the top of the thing, we have Jesus and Tony. Now, I am not bringing in Jesus because I think that he's actually 100% cracked after a League 2 German side he destroyed. That's not why I'm bringing him in. I think he's a really good asset in this Arsenal side. Arsenal is looking for somebody that can really kind of take the forward spot in their team to the next level. And I think with a lot of his experience on Man City, he's going to be able to do that. Yes, he does have some issues with sitters, but hopefully Arteta can kind of help him work through those issues, right? Tony, he's Tony. He's going to perform. The only thing that I worry about there is with Brentford not having Eriksen, does that hurt the attack? But Tony can go to Brennan Johnson. He can go to Mitrovic if that's your flavor. I know FPL Twitter doesn't like it as much. Doc, what do you think about this?
The game is about captaincy to a certain extent, and if you have no premiums, you need to nail the captaincy every week. But what this draft gives you is a lot of options to captain, but you need them to hold every single week, and the kind of the premiums do not hold. They are premiums for a reason, and that's why everybody's building around premiums, right? But what I like about this draft is very nice seeing those 8.0 kind of players all over the place. You have three in midfield and one as an attacker, so it's really nice to see them because I'm struggling with my actual draft. I'm struggling to choose which 8.0 to have. So that's what I really like about it. The defense is mental. Like you have Robo and Alexander Arnold and Luis Diaz, so who needs Salah at this point? But I wouldn't go without Salah. It's a bit crazy for my liking, but I can see someone kind of doing this draft and not doing so terrible, because if you nail the captaincy, the money spread will actually compensate for kind of the points that Salah and Haaland bring in. And also the price points kind of, you can really play and move around with players, except for the absolute premiums. For example, Tony can become Jimenez with the nice fixtures, can become Watkins with a point 0.5 extra saving somewhere, and Watkins has amazing fixtures as well to start with. So I like those price points. Diaz, Foden, Saka can become the 8.5 Bowen when he has the fixtures. Sterling can become Bruno with that price. I should mention that we said premium would be considered 10.5 and above. So basically Cristiano Ronaldo and above. So Sterling can become Bruno. And the defense also, you can downgrade Robo to Van Dijk, for example, and upgrade somewhere else, or Trent. So it's a very flexible draft except for the premiums.
Now we have our one premium draft that we have set up here. Doc, would you like to speak on the one premium?
What I liked about the one premium, as I mentioned, it gives you this captaincy option. It gives you Salah kind of a captaincy option almost every week, because Salah can perform against any team and then spread the money around. And you can see we have a couple of 8.0s and we have Watkins at 7.5. We have a premium defense, but again, we consider anything above 10.5 and above as a premium. So the defense is not that premium considering this criteria. So you have Ederson and Cancelo. Cancelo will be extremely highly owned, so a clean sheet will not kind of move you in rank, especially later into the season. So you have this kind of double clean sheet if they keep a clean sheet, and you have the effective ownership on your side. Similar James, Alexander Arnold, and Perisic if he starts and if we get guaranteed, because in the last match I believe he was sitting on the bench. At the time of recording this, about an hour ago, Jota has been announced injured. So if he doesn't make it to the beginning of the season, I will find it very difficult not to start with Luis Diaz. I'm seeing a lot of Robertson, Alexander Arnold, and Salah. I think if Jota is injured, Diaz kind of nails his spot as the 8.0 in my team. So let's see how it goes, but you'll see kind of a trend into the teams. Rashford, 6.5, I think is a ridiculous price regardless of what happened last season. You have a new manager and he might perform. What do you think about this draft, Joe?
Yeah, I definitely like it. I mean, I think the goal for every manager is to have that premium back line, especially right now. But it seems like every year we go into the season basically anticipating, hey, we're going to have 7 million across the back. They're going to be 5. We're going to play them nonstop. They're going to score me 250 goals or 250 points, not goals, points each. And it's going to be glorious. I'm going to win FPL. It's going to be easy. And then game week 1 comes and everybody has 4 million and 4.5 plus Trent in their team. I like the initial thought of having that big back. As far as the middle line, like you said, with Jota being possibly injured, Diaz is almost a lock. I mean, they do have Firmino, that allegedly Firmino swaps in and out of the positions rotation-wise with Jota and Diaz, but I can't see the performance that Diaz put on in other competitions and him not getting starts in the Premier League, because he was insane in other competitions. In the last few weeks that he played, he racked up a decent amount of points for his owners also. Salah, he's Salah. And Rashford, I really like Rashford in these teams. I need more preseason time. I need to see preseason Rashford before I make the jump and I go, Rashford's in my team 100%. And then the front line, very similar to kind of what we had in the Zero Premium. I mean, you just have Watkins in there instead of Tony. 6 of one, half dozen of the other, really, when you look at those forwards at the top like that. So, yeah, I don't think a one premium is that bad, and it does give you enough flexibility and enough money to spread pretty far across the team, too, still.
And I should add, before we jump on to the next draft, Joe, you would like this. So instead of Rashford, I was looking into Alan San Maximin. So he can be a great differential. He praised Nottingham Forest on the first game. So kind of Alan San Maximin, you can have him the first game and maybe move it to Rashford. At this price point is really nice.
It will help him a lot that he's a midfielder now and not a forward. All right, so now we have our 2 premiums up on the screen. Doc, you want to talk about the 2 premium draft?
Well, we will see at the beginning of the season that most people will go for a 2 premium. What I like about the 2 premium, it gives you the flexibility to go anywhere, everywhere, and it covers kind of the captaincy, which is essential in FPL. So if you nail captaincy every single week, you're probably going to finish high in rank. So you have Haaland and Salah. Haaland can be Kane if you would like, and then you have kind of spreading the funds wherever you have available, whether at the back, and you have the 8.0 price point at Luis Diaz. Like I mentioned, you'll see him in a lot of drafts after seeing the news of the injury of Jota. You have the premium back line, including Mendy. I think Mendy is a very good value this season. I will try going for him unless I really need a 0.5. Then I'll go down to Raya. Probably this is kind of how my draft is developing. I've tinkered a lot and I'm seeing this pattern and seeing this kind of way that I'm going to. So you have the premium defense, you have Martinelli. I think Arsenal will rotate a bit the front 4, let's say. Maybe the 3 Odegaard is a bit more secured. I think Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah and Jesus will kind of, and Smith Rowe will rotate, and you will see a bit of rotation, especially when Champions League start. Martinelli can have a great start, and you can kind of get the points before moving him on to other players.
This isn't a bad draft. This is very much like what you said. Everybody is probably going to run with 2 premiums here. Mendy, I'm not sold on him yet, really. I know that's kind of wild, but he started extremely hot with Chelsea, especially last year, and then it just kind of seemed like the whole line fizzled out a little bit. Well, we'll have to see. Once again, Mendy is like Rashford. I'm waiting on my preseason to see, okay, where are you at? Are you ready for this season to come in? I probably am going to go with my 4.5 goalkeepers, like a Ryle or a Henderson. Right now I have Henderson in my team. Just love the guy and hope he does really well at Nottingham. Once again, our big back line, still able to maintain that back line in a 2 premium draft. The issues that we run into is now we're starting to see where the money is being hemorrhaged out of our drafts. We have Neto in there and Martinelli, who are, yes, good players, but would you rather have them or would you like to have one of the 8 million guys? I think that it's still a very solid draft. Diaz is still in there. Jesus. Now we have Haaland. Now we have Salah. In my mindset, I would like to have probably Kane over Haaland, like you had mentioned, but I think once again it's kind of a toss-up. But I love my Spurs, and I want Son and Kane in every draft, at least one of them. And I think if you're trying to maintain flexibility to switch in between a top attacker and a top midfielder, if you have Salah, he's kind of the lock-in. I'd like to have Kane over a City guy right now. We'll see if that holds up as we go further into the drafts.
Joe, you just mentioned that you would like Haaland and Kane. Guess what the next draft is going to do? It's going to have Haaland and Kane and Salah. We have the premium, and it's not bad. I'm very tempted just to have fun and go for it. You have the amazing defense, and you have this Tomiyasu, which is amazing value if he stays fit. You have the defense, the 4.5 as you like it, the goalkeeper, the 4.5 as you like it, and you have the 3 premiums that you want. Yes, again, you have the Martinelli and Neto, but that doesn't mean they're going to do bad in the first 4. They have the fixtures, and they probably will start. Let's say majority, I would say at least 75% of the first 4. It's a really tempting draft.
Yeah, I like the draft. Once again, my 4.5 goalkeeper, thank you. We finally got there. We have the big back line. The one thing that probably if I run a premium in my team, I would probably do, I would probably try and see if I can, rather than Kane, go for Son. Honestly, I think there's more points to be had in the midfield than there is in the forward line. Yes, you have 2 premium forwards, but we saw how forwards just struggled throughout the whole season. And yes, Kane got extremely better once Conte came in there. Son is just the guy that I am putting my money on more times than not. I like Kane a lot, but Son also gets those extra FPL points of, he gets one more point for if there's a clean sheet. He gets a couple additional points across the board. I still really like this draft. Are we ready for the ultimate Formium? I'm coining that phrase right now, the Formium.
Well, you wanted Son in the draft. Here you go. Here's your Son. So this draft has Son, Salah, Haaland, Kane, and again, guess what? It's not that terrible. Yes, you might have a 4.0, but we have a 4.0 defender starting this season because the Liverpool boys are moving to Nottingham. So, but you have Van Dijk as well in defense. So it's not like you're going ultra cheap in defense, and you have Dyer to cover that Spurs clean sheet. It's a very nice draft. Tomiyasu, Mings with the nice fixtures, Andreas on the bench who moved to Fulham 4.5. He'll probably start almost every single game for Fulham if he's fit. So you have this amazing Formium. What did you just call it?
Formium. Yeah.
Formium draft. There you go.
Yeah, I like this draft. This is the draft I'm running with. It has everything I want. It has all the players that I want. It has all the premiums. I will never have an issue captaining except for who has the best chance of scoring more points, not who has a chance of scoring points. This is it. We have reached maximum FPL manager power. FPL has given us everything that we want now. The very last thing though is the back line. It's not your stereotypical back line that we're seeing in every single draft, but how many drafts have Tomiyasu in it? A ton of we've seen. How many drafts have Mings in it? Once again, a ton of them we've seen. How many drafts since the transfer have Nico Williams in it? Like every single one. Okay, how many drafts have Van Dijk? Not necessarily a lot, but he is like maybe 20 points off Trent at the end of the season, and he's like 10 points off of Rabo, but you're saving 0.5 to 1 million on a Liverpool defender. That's not bad. And then Dyer, he's always in the points one way or another. He never scores, but he always does extremely well for a defender. So the back line, while it doesn't look like what everybody else has, it's still a great back line.
And I should add regarding Van Dijk and Dyer, both have attacking threats. Dyer takes some free kicks every once in a while. He has attacking threat from corners. Van Dijk is a bonus magnet, and Van Dijk also has attacking threat from corners. He scores 3, 4, 5 goals every season through headers and through corners and set pieces. So it's definitely not a bad defense. Definitely not bad. Like if we didn't have this cheap defenders, premium defenders, let's call them, the Trent being so cheap, the Robo being so cheap, the James, the Chilwell, we would have seen similar draft, to be honest, but because they are very cheap and they offer good value, we are seeing premium defense. Otherwise, defense would have been similar to this that you're looking at the screen right now if we didn't have those cheap premium.
I completely agree with you. I think the Formium is the way of the future. That's where we're going. That's what everybody will be doing in 3 or 4 years' time. We've created a new trend. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Let us know what you thought about our drafts. Let us know at what point in the season, or if you're starting the season with a Formium. Let's do this thing. Let's make it a thing. Hashtag Formium. Send it out on Twitter. Send it out on hashtag FPL. Hashtag FPL community. Hashtag FPL USA, because I'm part of that. Doc.
Everybody, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Share us your drafts. Let us know in the comments. We will actually comment back and give you our opinion regarding your draft. So best of luck, and we'll see everybody on the next episode.
Peace.